All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the SHIPIT Nation Week 1 Cash Game Show. We'll be here every Friday afternoon breaking down the slate from a cash game perspective. And it'll be myself and my guy Title every single week. And we'll go through, kind of develop that player pool for cash games. And then we recommend you get over to shipitnation.com where we'll have our core plays specifically for cash games. And that'll take in any news that we get from now into Sunday. We'll cover it obviously on the Sunday show as well, but been doing this for a couple of years. It's been successful. I know a lot of people like it, so running it back. We'll be here all season long. Title, another NFL season starting up this week. It's exciting time. Not many people are grinding the cash streets hard anymore. I mean, a lot of people are focused in tournaments and chasing the big prizes, but you have remained steady in the cash game streets and haven't wavered. Obviously, you play GPPs as well, but cash game's a big part of what you do. So you're not just coming on here randomly throwing some stuff out there. You're playing with these recommendations. So glad to be here talking some cash. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm too nitty hoop. I mean, man, losing 80% of the time in GPPs could be 90% waiting for the once every 6 month hit to pay everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still doing it. I've scaled more and more into it, but yeah, I'll try and grind it used to be, when you were back in it, you're smart. It was like probably 12% ROIs back in the day, even more maybe before I got in. Now, you're grinding at least high stakes wise, 3%. If you do it right, we always like contest selections big here. If you have $100 bankroll, it's really easy on DraftKings. Like a $5, 5,000 people are in it. Like pulling up the cash lobby for NFL compared to MLB, compared to NBA, MMA, niche sports like that. It's night and day. So obviously, like I'm trying to get nearly as much action as I can on the lobby. That's probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. I definitely get a lot of money in there. But for those out there, know your bankroll. Know if you want to do cash and GPPs, how much you set aside for cash, how much you set aside for GPPs. And then when you do that, single entry, 3-entry max, the more people in it, obviously that's a lot better because there's more fish involved. $1, $2 stuff, FanDuel, DraftKings, you can't have pros. Like I can't be in there. You can't be in there. High volume players. So you get softer competition that way. Contest selection always really big, but yeah, I'll be in the cash streets every year. Nothing better. And always late swap. There's only 2 spots to really do it. FanDuel took away the Sunday night football games. I'm actually kind of sad. I always kind of like the late night hammer to sweat it. Not everyone likes it. I might be in the minority, but that 12 p.m. to 3:25 spot, like if you're drawing dead and you can pretty much predict a lot of cash teams ahead of you, making swaps. I remember, I don't know if it was week 1 or 2 last year, but I swapped to a Chris Godwin, and I would have been stone dead. I did that a couple of times. It doesn't always work out, but there's still an edge that way in late swap.
You got to at least give yourself a chance when you can. I know a lot of people that are playing cash games, especially in the big, double ups and 50-50s that are setting their team and they're never coming back and looking at it to see if, hey, maybe I can give myself a chance to get above a big train or something like that, or looking at specific head-to-heads. And like you said, it's easy to predict like what your opponents have when you can see like 80% of their lineup. You can figure it out mathematically if you need to. But yeah, cash games, that's how I got started, playing head-to-heads, 50-50s, and literally grinded my way all the way up. I wish I had more money when I first started doing this, 15 years ago, because it was unlimited good action. Like you post on a Sunday, you post a 1K head-to-head, it would be gone within minutes, and it was against usually weak competition. And that went on for a while. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but now we're at the other side of it where not many people are playing it. So if you are dedicated and focused to the head-to-heads, double ups, 50-50s, probably have somewhat of an advantage. And that's what we kind of want to do here at SHIPIT Nation, like get you in that direction, starting with the show and then heading over to the content and seeing your cores up there which you update all the way up to lock, depending on what sort of news we get. This week 1 NFL, a lot of the news is already out there. So there's not much that we're waiting on. And we're pretty fortunate in regards to the injuries as well. There's not much. I mean, the only big thing, and I don't know how big it is or if there's a chance, but Christian McCaffrey, and it happened last year where he was a surprise inactive for week 1. It was a primetime game, though, so it's a little difference on the main slate, but he's obviously in a really good spot. We'll get to the projections and all that stuff as we go along here in the show, but he's way up there, probably a cash game option, and it's a later afternoon game, and they said he's got some sort of calf strain, so definitely something to keep an eye on. Any thoughts in regards to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always just going to assume right now that week 1, he's going to do everything he can to play. So I'm expecting him to play. If not, the good thing about NFL is we get that news Saturday night, Sunday morning, if it's even looking 50-50 or even close to that, Schefter, these guys tweet that out, their beat reporters. And then from there, we can adjust a little more. What that would do in cash games, I don't need this pricing so soft, we'll get into. I don't think that just means Brian Robinson's the guy you play. I mean, he's pretty new to the team as well. It'd be more so the Ricky Pearsals of the world and stuff. I think the receivers. But yeah, I'm gonna play him like he plays. It is important though, because he's gonna be very popular, and that's because you have all the money in the world to work. And I still think he's probably he's top 2, top 3 running back in football right now. Saquon's definitely up there and stuff. But when that dude talking fantasy, his pass catching ability on full point PPR sites like DraftKings, the scheme that Shanahan runs, I mean, C-Mac's a beast. So, yeah.
It's kind of interesting I know you're in the best ball streets. I got in kind of late, or even season-long stuff where he kind of came down a little bit. I mean, people a little bit nervous, I think, just because
So what do you mean by came down? Because I was drafted in May and early June, and then I was gone. So when I was drafted him at 13 and 14.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See. Okay. That's even.
And then he went to 7, 6,
that's
and
even
7.
further. I mean, but he's been the top fantasy guy every year, so I'm thinking he should be 3-4 range. But at these drafts I was doing at the end, it was 7, 8, 9,
7, 8
through 10, essentially 7 through 10, I'd say.
Yeah, you're right though. It's the injury concern, and that just shows how much we're not here talking best ball. But my favorite draft, I posted best ball, but it was in May. My favorite turn was the pick 12. I was getting Nico and C-Mac at 12, 13.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, I was getting Joe Mixon at 48. I was getting, what I mean? Half these teams are dead, but interesting to talk that way.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And then we will talk about this too. It's not NBA and stuff like that. People are all on the same page looking at the same stuff. Schefter's, the beat reporters. And if they say he's going to play, ownership really doesn't waver.
Another thing, 5 years ago, the news was always a little bit shaky. I will say the NFL's done a really good job getting this news out. The beat reporters, I mean, like you said, by Saturday night, usually at the latest, we know what's going on. There's going to be some sort of news. 5 years ago was a scramble when inactives came, because there'd be a ton of surprises. And Sunday morning, you'd wake up with some slate changing news. Didn't have much of that last year. The information has been out there.
Maybe we get a couple blues though. Yesterday, I mean,
not
that it would have changed Sunday Maine, but it changed Showdown. I mean,
so for Showdown slate with that blue guy getting ruled out yesterday, it impacts things, it changes things. But if that's a Sunday morning piece of information, we're scrolling right past it and moving on to the next thing. It's not relevant for a 12-game slate. For the single slate, it is, and it was a surprise. Single game slate, it was a surprise, and had to make some adjustments, bumped up some guys, that sort of thing, and hopefully bumped up Javonte Williams a lot, because that's the guy that you needed up top. So one other thing, and then we'll kind of get into it. You kind of mentioned a couple times, the pricing is super soft, and that's always the case for week 1. And you kind of already hit on it a little bit, but it definitely changes things for cash games. So kind of talk through that a little bit.
I mean, it's just really sad. How I see it right now, it's a lot of the receivers that are really mispriced, which is going to lead you to two main guys. Ibuka, who, I mean, talk about best ball. He went from, there's been a lot of injuries. McMillan is out for 8 weeks. They are down an O lineman as well. But just the camp buzz around this guy has been absolutely insane. They threw the ball really well. Godwin, of course, is out for the first 4 weeks at least, probably more. Going to slide into a wide receiver 2 role. Great rookie. I mean, he's $4,600. Like, just insanely mispriced. McMillan on the Panthers, wide receiver 1, clear as day. The Bennett Beast, it was like the 11th pick or something in the draft. 5,200. Like, complete misprices. They should be at least 1K more. So it's going to funnel. Like, those 2 misprices alone in some receivers, they're pretty cheap. So when you have the money to spend, you can spend at running backs, the safeties, in the McCaffreys of the world. You can spend up at quarterback, where a lot of the times, and when it's really tight pricing, one of the first positions or 2 positions, quarterback and tight end. You always look for a lot of savings because you can get the $2,500 tight end. That's the lowest pricing on DraftKings. Sometimes you're like, all right, I'll take 6 or 7 because it's really tight and I'll jam other spots. Quarterback, usually you can get like a 52, 5,300 guy that maybe gets you 16, and you focus skill position more because they're priced efficiently. That's not the case at all week 1 with a lot of mispriced receivers. So roster construction wise, it'll kind of lead to similar passing cash.
Yeah. And that's always how it's going to be week 1. And pricing is, I think, overall pretty soft throughout the season. Last year, FanDuel, I'd say, did a better job of pricing the slate than DraftKings did. Like, they would get those solid running backs way up there. Like, they would get the running quarterbacks way up there. The top wide receivers were always around 10K. So it's something we'll monitor as the season goes on. Quick marketing points, and then we'll get into it and talk through the slate and some specific plays. Only a couple more days to get in our early bird special, $349, as you can see here on the site. That does include SaberSim. That also includes entry into SHIPIT games, where you can see at the top of the website, we're giving away at least $79,000 in cash and prizes that can only go up. The full breakdown for SHIPIT games, you can click right there on that banner and it'll take you to the full breakdown and explanation. But that number can only go up. As of right now, the top prize is $20,000. And like I said, that will only go up with some of the games we have set up where we can win more money and increase that prize pool. So by joining this early bird package here, $349 gets you all the way through the Super Bowl. You get SaberSim, like I said, SHIPIT games access, and then access to all our content, projections, ownership, the Stone, stack rankings, showdown content, core report, slate plans, and education courses as well. It says it expires September 3rd, but we're going to let it run through Sunday. So now is the time to get in. Access to Discord as well, which is very, very important. I mean, very friendly environment, a lot of like-minded people in there chatting all around the clock and chatting about sports we don't even cover. Like the tennis chat is booming with talk obviously around the event going, what is it, the US Open and whatnot. Yeah, US Open. So good spot to be. We'd love to have you this NFL season. And let's go ahead. I'm going to switch it over. We're going to get into the breakdown here. We're going to use SaberSim, partnered with Saber, like I said. Share screen. So I have our projections up. As you can see, Saber and SHIPIT, I have our projections up. This is FanDuel. We'll start on DraftKings. We're going to go position by position and just kind of talk through a few players that are in the conversation for cash games at each position and see how it might differ site to site. We'll start on DraftKings and kind of talk me through the quarterback position. Like I said, like you said, we both said, pricing is very, very soft. So if you want to spend up at quarterback, I'm sure you can. Is it a necessity this week? I don't know. But even like spending up isn't really spending up. The top price quarterback is Jaden Daniels at 7K. Like, you're not really sacrificing much. So there are cheap guys, I'm sure, that are in play. So how are you handling quarterback position, or at least just give me a few guys that are kind of standing out as of now?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, we're going to have so much money, and the spend up isn't like Daniels. Like, he should be more expensive than 7K on this slate. A lot of it too, when pricing is really soft like this, I want safety. When you get to a lot of the guys down below, you can pick holes in a lot of these guys. And if you're getting 11, 12 from your quarterback this week, you're probably not going to be cashing. So safety. A lot of that has to do with legs as well. And I mean, the one guy we see on the slate, we don't have Jalen Hurts, who played yesterday. We don't have Josh Allen Lamar, which is going to be a hell of a game on Sunday night. The guy that we're looking at with legs in the top tier is Daniels. Now, yeah, I think Burrow's fine as well, but that 1K, I mean, Daniels looked phenomenal last year. Now you get the situation, what are they going to do at running back? Is it Eckler? Is it Merritt that everyone's talking about? Is it C-Rod? Like, it's such a mess back there. Why not just use Daniels more, rely on his legs a little more? I think he's by far the safest. I think it's pretty easy to get to right now, so he is my lean. If you needed the 100, I mean, I still don't even love it because I think ownership gap will be wide enough where you don't really want to be on an island with a 6% Joe Burrow versus like a 40% Jaden Daniels, kind of throwing names out there. But yeah, I'm on Daniels, probably my favorite right now. Now, if I'm not playing Daniels, I'm probably going, like, I want to save. Like, I don't think playing like a Baker, a Goff, a Kyler, like that 600, 700 savings, I don't think that's enough. I just think you really want to save. A couple names down below, Drake May, 5.5K. I think this Vegas defense is going to be no good. I think the Patriots are definitely going to be better this year on both sides of the ball. Travion Henderson can catch passes out of the backfield. He's someone that can help Drake May. Obviously, they got Diggs, but Trevor Lawrence as well. I mean, that's good. When we talk on Sunday, I'm definitely going to be playing a lot of both sides of that game in stacks. Trevor Lawrence, he kind of has sneaky upside with his legs as well. But yeah, I mean, Brian Thomas, now you get Travis Hunter, kind of a weird situation in the backfield there. They have guys that they trust. So I think it's a little better than like the Washington situation, but we're not going to be playing any of the running backs. At least I won't for a little bit. ETN, Tootin, Tank, etc. But I think Carolina's bad. I think that game can shoot out a little bit. I think you're really going all the way up to Daniels or probably going May, Lawrence. And right now my lean, if the slate locked right now, I would be playing Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. So for me, it's simple. Like, I would be playing Jaden Daniels or Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is my guy. I think the Jaguars offense is successful this year. They've been bad for a while. I think they turn it around. 5,300, good matchup at home. Daniel Jones, potentially, I mean, he can get there with like one play. But like you said, you need more. A couple good comments. You will love your teams this week. Only bad thing about loose pricing. That's the one thing. Don't get overconfident when you build your team. Like, damn, how can this team lose? How can this lose? And then you realize everybody, yes, everyone has that exact same mindset. So be very careful there. And then, yeah, with the soft pricing, like, you put in a couple of cheapies and you can pretty much do whatever you want. Let's take a look at FanDuel quarterbacks, see how it differs. Like I said, last year the pricing was better, I'd say, on FanDuel. And
unfortunately, week one, it's not as
it's not as good. Like last year, like Jaden Daniels, they had him in the 9K range. So yeah, it's bad, but there is more of a gap between Daniels and Joe Burrow. If we sort by value, Trevor Lawrence 7K, so you are getting a pretty good discount. Probably the same thing over here. I don't think there's much of a difference really when going through, unless, when we get to running back, these guys are expensive. Nope, not really. That's you get the wide receiver, one guy in the 9K range. So yeah, there's cheap prices all over the place. Probably the same thing here on FanDuel, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to throw out another name right now because we're going to get to running back. I mean, I'll even make it easy. Let's tackle running back on FanDuel quick. We have C-Mac at 8-1. Last year, he was over 10K, or like Saquons of the world were over 10K. We have Chase Brown. And talk about like flying up the boards in best ball. Like, he was like 25 or something, went up to like 17. He just has no competition. Like P. Ryan, Tajay Brooks, that's a game I want to target. 6,900 is a complete joke. And then we have Genty, 6,400. Like, we're talking about, I mean, a dynasty, everyone's number one. First round pick is the rookie. Matchup's a little tough, but just the workload alone in that price, it's just a joke. So, yeah, I mean, not every week we have clear locks like this. I'm not going to be BSing around, though, and saying names that I'm not expecting to play. Like right now on FanDuel, I think you build your teams Genty or Daniels, McCaffrey, Genty, Chase Brown, and figure the rest out. So, yeah, I'm playing Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, our projection may be a little light on Genty. I mean, the workload's going to be massive. Like, they're not even sugarcoating it. They've come out and said he's our guy. He's going to get a ton of work. 6,400 is
sort of by the pricing, though. Like, I'm curious to hear what we had. Like, around that range. So we still have him higher than Kenneth, I guess, a little bit. I'm worried about
Walker's up there.
Charbonnet.
Chase Brown for sure at
We're playing
6,900. I think in the conversation a little bit too. Like
No, I think it's him. Chase Brown, Genty, McCaffrey.
Okay, you did say that. Yeah.
I think it's
Chase,
those three.
Yeah, he for sure has a massive workload, tons of receptions, which obviously more valuable on DK. But when he's only he's under 7K on FanDuel, like man, it's an absolute steal of a price. So the McCaffrey thing, like we said, weird comments yesterday about calf string, questionable. I don't think he practiced. Monitor it. I mean, if it's not him, there's other guys that you can play in that range. If you want to just make like a quick pivot, like there's all these guys to me are playable as a replacement to McCaffrey. But 8,100 for that workload with the new offense and the guys out. I mean, it's just absolute steal. Just a terrible price. Flip over to. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you're flipping over, just a reminder for most people, like FanDuel with half point PPR compared to DK full point. More times than not, I go 3 running backs on FanDuel. DK, it can be wide open though. Like a couple years ago, I definitely was.
A lot of people are still jamming the running backs no matter what on DK. You were kind of one of the first to, probably not one of the first, but one of the first to openly talk. Yeah, one of the first to openly talk about doing it. Like it's as a strategy piece. Like still to this day, people automatically jam the 3 running backs in there opposed to 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, and it obviously all depends on pricing and stuff. Like this week, I think both are very viable, but I mean the league transitioned to a lot more pass happy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more injury stuff at the running back position and the pricing. Like usually you can find those cheaper guys to plug in the util that look better than the running backs. But yeah, let's go to DK.
Yeah, over on DK, same thing. McCaffrey, 7,300, highest projected guy by a pretty wide margin. I mean, we're showing a 3-point difference between him and Gibbs. After Gibbs, next guy up, Chase Brown. And they did a much better job with Gentry's price, 7K. So like he's probably not as much in the conversation over here as he is on FanDuel, but McCaffrey, Chase Brown for sure. Kenneth Walker has a cheap price tag under 6K. That definitely stands out when you're looking at price versus projection. But probably pretty similar over here when you're looking at the names: Christian McCaffrey, Chase Brown.
Yeah, and that's like back to the FanDuel thing. I like comparing DraftKings FanDuel pricing and just seeing the Genty. Like it's pretty obvious on FanDuel why it's a misprice. You're definitely not playing him on DraftKings. I think it's C-Mac, and again, we're talking like C-Mac's good to go. If not, like that's all the cores are updated all the way till Sunday morning. If I'm changing something 20 minutes before, I'll take the Discord if it's something that late. But yeah, right now I think it's C-Mac, Chase Brown for sure. Then after that, I think it's pretty wide open. A-Chan looks good. JT looks good at 6'8". Josh Jacobs looks good at 6'7". Kamara, if you want a little more savings, 6'3". James Conner at 6'1" as pretty big favorites. Tony Pollard, Tajee Spears won't be in the mix. Kenneth Walker, like you mentioned, good price tag. I'm a little worried about. I don't know if worried's the right word, but I think the gap between Charbonnet and Walker is definitely going to close this year. Walker's been like held out with like injury maintenance or something. It was really weird with him, and Charbonnet's a beast. But Seahawks are going to want to run the football as much as they possibly can. So I think he's fine as well. But after C-Mac and Brown, I definitely think you have a lot of options. And I mean, I don't even think you have to play 3 running backs. Yeah. That's my lean, I think, right now. But you don't have to.
Yeah, you get over to the wide receiver position, you're going to see a lot of really, really cheap, I'd say bad price tags. And we already talked about McMillan for the Panthers. He's showing up here as an off-the-charts value, essentially. 5,200, going to be the number 1 in a game where they could be trailing. I mean, he's probably close to a lock-ish. I mean, I guess wide receiver, it's hard to call anybody a lock, but when you're just looking at the price versus projection, he's going to fit in very nicely to everything that you're trying to do. I think Brian Thomas Jr. on the other side, under 7K. I'm very high on the Jaguars offense this season. He has a big boy projection. These are our projections in there. It can vary a little bit. You can see Sabre has him at 17. We have him at 19.4. You've already talked about Mbuka, or how do you pronounce it?
Egbuka.
Egbuka. 4,600. So we're liking Sterling Shepard quite a bit. I mean, this is the cash play though. Egbuka at 46. So you put these two in, and you have a lot of flexibility, like a lot of different things you can do. So those are the values. Like I said, Brian Thomas is fine. If you sort by projection, you can probably get Jamar Chase if you want him. Like if you want him, you can easily make it work this week. If you don't love him and you want to spend somewhere else, Nico Collins, Puka, you're going to have the opportunity to probably get another spend at this position if you want. So go ahead and talk me through some of these wide receiver plays.
Yeah, and I like what you said. Like receiver is not nearly most weeks is that like not nearly as much of a lock. Like Igbuka, McMillan look great value and stuff. But at the end of the day, with how loose pricing is, like if you went $700 more, like a T Higgins of something, like guys can still project better, and you just have so much salary because you're already paying Daniels, you're playing the Browns, McCaffreys. They're great plays, but there's so many receivers. You will have the money for Chase Brown if you want it, or Jamar Chase, not Chase Brown, if you want it. I think that'd even be more the case. Like if McCaffrey was out for some reason, I think then four receivers would be even more popular, and you just take the raw points with Jamar Chase. Still, again, you can easily fit him, but it's more opportunity cost because like Nico Collins at 7.4 looks fine, but even better than that, 600 cheaper. You mentioned Brian Thomas, like that price is a complete joke on him. Mike Evans at 6.6. The same things we're talking about Ibuka. No Chris Godwin. No McMillan. Mike Evans has been a 1,000-yard receiver forever. That's a game in a dome against Atlanta, one of the best games at target on the slate. Mike Evans looks way too cheap at 6.6. Drake London right on the other side. I mean, he just gets peppered. Talk about being early but late on him. Like I was playing Drake London every single day a couple of years back.
Yeah, we both were.
Yeah.
We both were.
It's getting stone burned.
Yeah.
And then last year, yeah.
He paid it off. He paid it off for us last year.
For sure. But some of the days didn't even have him. And then it hurt me. Yeah. It was brutal. But I mean, yeah, Drake London looks like a phenomenal play right there. Evans and him in the same spot. I prefer Evans and London to T. Higgins. But again, like if you just had the money, it's a fine upgrade. Going down more. Yeah, I mean, Tet, like we talked about earlier, McMillan on the Panthers, clearly wide receiver one. Bryce Young looked a lot better at the end of the year. I mean, they traded away Thielen, the Jags defense. I'm not worried about that. That game has a lot of shootout upside. Who else are we looking at down here? Ricky Pearsall, 4.5K, and that's a guy. If what's his nuts? McCaffrey was somehow ruled out. He gets a big bump right there, but Ayuk is going to be out for the first 6 weeks plus. Juwan Jennings is going to play, which makes him a little worse play. But I mean, Pearsall's been getting work all summer with where Juwan's been sitting out. So 4.5K is way too cheap for him right there. I think that's a lot of the main names. If you have the money for Chase, you can get up to there. Otherwise, that Mike Evans, Brian Thomas, Drake London range looks really strong. Nico Collins, again, with pricing so soft, he's someone I definitely want to play a lot of this year in a dome. And then you got the Bukas, McMillans, Pearsalls that are just clearly mispriced.
Yeah. All right. Flip to FanDuel, see if it differs in any way, shape, or form. We'll kind of look at some of the pricing. Jamar Chase is a little more expensive in regards to his price versus some of the other guys. Sort by value. McMillan 5,600, still too cheap. This is where you just play this price. I mean, this Egbuka 5K. I mean, 5K flat. I think he is a stone lock no matter what you're doing. 5K, it opens up the world. And again, like the pricing is so soft where it doesn't really matter all that much to have a cheap price tag. But this to me is just like way too cheap. Calvin Ridley 5,700. I know the matchup isn't good, but man, that's a cheap price tag. I guess you can say it for a lot of guys. In terms of the spends, you got Nico Collins under 8K, Brian Thomas again 7,700, Mike Evans 75, T Higgins 71, Drake London 7K. You're going to be able to find something basically at every price point, but again, seems pretty similar to what we were talking about over on DraftKings.
Yeah, very much so. The main difference, Jamar Chase, like that price gap is I'm a lot more likely to play Chase on DK than I am FanDuel with how much closer he is priced to the other guys, where FanDuel got it right. like it's only a 700 gap on DK between Nico and Jamar Chase. You're looking at a 1,300 gap on FanDuel. I much rather would save that 1,300 and play Nico on FanDuel, Chase on DK probably. I think Puka's very much in play at 8.1K. Stafford's going. I'm not worried about his back week one. Like, obviously injury risk throughout the year, but when Stafford's behind center, now getting Devontae on the other side too, to take where some people might look at that as a negative, I look at that as defenses aren't going to be able to double Puka because they'll just get beat on the other side. So I think, grown ass man. I love playing Puka Nacua, that's for sure. So him, Nico look great. Going down a little more, Brian Thomas, phenomenal play. You want to go down a little bit more after that? Drake London right there at 7K looks too cheap. T. Higgins, 7.1K. I prefer Drake right there if choosing, but I do always prefer T. Higgins a little more on FanDuel than DraftKings. He has as much touchdown upside as anyone, but just the full point PPR. Chase gets so many of those close, like screen plays almost, or just RPOs that get it out to him right at the line of scrimmage in space. So he has a little more reception upside, I think, than the London stuff. Going down, yeah, like Ibuka's just way too cheap. Tet's way too cheap. I don't even think you need to talk about anyone else below any of those guys because if you're going down and you need the money,
be forced to have a spend. If you play McMillan and Ibuka, you're going to be forced to spend in one of these spots. Like you're not going to go another cheap wide receiver, so you're going to be playing something probably Drake London or above, like whatever works. And there's multiple guys you could play that you feel comfortable with. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I hate to give pretty much like receiver. It looks like this week receiver, tight end, defense. And when I say tight end, like it's really McBride, Bowers. Like you're easily able to spend up on there. So how you navigate, unfortunately, defense and then wide receiver, I think is really going to dictate FanDuel this week. So boring.
Yeah. If you have any questions, go ahead, fire them in the chat. We'll cover them at the end just because it's pretty straightforward week. Two things, though. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Video's free, obviously. So all we ask is you give us a like and then subscribe to our channel. Right after we finish this show, if you're watching, stay on because at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're covering the Friday night game between the Chiefs and the Chargers. Myself, Title, and Tambo, and we will be announcing the third winner of the SHIPIT Games ticket, and that winner will be playing me in a head-to-head Sunday morning for an additional $250. So you want to tune into that after, see if your name's drawn, and that ticket is you're in. You're one of the 101 out of the 50 golden tickets. So definitely want to tune into that. So just stay right here. We'll be back shortly after we complete this show. Let's go to tight end. You kind of already talked about it. There's probably not much to talk about. You're going to be, oh my gosh, terrible pricing. Jeez. Last year, they actually, tight end, they did a good job too, because they got those guys up there at the end of last season. FanDuel did
8,500-ish, stuff like that.
They had them way up there where they should be. 7K for Bowers, 63 for McBride. I guess, maybe you throw Kittle in the mix if McCaffrey were to be ruled out, but you're spending on one of those guys. There's clear separation in season long with these guys. Like if you did a season long draft, you're taking Bowers, McBride, and then Kittle. 1, 2, 3. They're all on the slate. They're all cheap. You're playing someone up top.
Not even close. And it's probably McBride. We have him projected higher than the rest. It's close in projection between Bowers and McBride for me. Still, even when it's close, that 700 goes I guess I shouldn't say goes a long way on the slate. It can go a decent bit. The main thing is it's just the matchup. Like Patriots are a lead on defense this year. And if you're already playing Genty, I don't know how I feel about having two Raiders when McBride's right there in a dome against a pretty poor Saints team. So it's probably McBride.
Yeah, definitely look for a little hedge there and not being super deep on the Raiders offense. So I agree with you there. Like I would, and you're saving money too. So it's quite a bit, like you said.
Yeah. As far as the SHIPIT game number 3, pretty cool. You're guaranteed to already be in, but a $250 free roll just having to beat one person. I'm going to ask you, what do you think your record's going to be? So what, we're doing weeks 1 through 16 for that? Because 17 is 1 through 50, correct? So what record are you putting yourself at?
I'm going to say, so if we do 16, we do have some pretty smart members. Like I'm not gonna say I'm gonna hit at an 80% rate. I'm gonna say I go 9-7.
All right.
9-7.
Hoops being a little humble. Well, I'll be interested to see how that goes. We'll be tracking
maybe 10-6. I almost went 10-6. We'll set the line at the 9.5. How about that?
There we go.
9.5 wins for me.
I'm hitting over. I trust the members, but Hoopster, he's an OG in the cash streets, even though he doesn't play it.
I might have to get back. You never know. I might get back into him. Like you said, the GPP streets are way more volatile. Way more. Sure. DraftKings tight ends, probably the same. I mean, they're not all that much more expensive over there. The gap between Bowers and McBride is closer, only $300. Kittle's $5,800, so he's cheaper than McBride over here. But just look at it. I mean, look at the projections: 15, basically 16, 15.5. Then it kind of falls off a cliff. I mean, you just take the security at the position. So I'm assuming same over here, right?
I think it's a little more interesting.
Okay.
I do. Like if you're playing Trevor Lawrence, I think you're clearly probably spending up for tight end. When you get to the Daniels and you're playing the Chase Browns and McCaffrey, and then like if you choose to spend up for like one of the Jacobs and Achans of the world, it gets a little tough if you decide to go like the Pollards, the stuff. So that's why I think DraftKings actually is going to be a little more open this week. I think FanDuel is unfortunately pretty straightforward, almost like hoping CMC doesn't play to mix things up a bit. But no, DraftKings I think is a little more open. It's Bowers, McBride if you want to spend up. Yeah. But after that, like Njoku at 4.7K, I think is very much in play. I mean, Joe Flacco, when we talk on Sunday, I will definitely be playing a good amount of game stacks of that. Joe Flacco is really good when you're playing pass catchers. So I think he's fine at 4.7, even though like they do have Fenton. That's a little concerning. I think they run a lot of 2 tight end sets. Tucker Kraft, I mean, first of all, what a game that's going to be. Detroit, Green Bay, and Lambeau. Yeah, that'll be good. Tucker Kraft, though, he's skyrocket emoji all camp about his talks. I mean, I called him a top 5, or I thought he was like number 5 tight end in football last year, his yards after catch. And it's just a lot of unknowns in that Green Bay receiver room outside of Golden. He'll be on the field a lot and stuff. So I think he's interesting at 4K. And then if you really wanted like save money, you got Strange at 3.3K, someone we played a decent bit. We talked about Trevor Lawrence already. That's a game environment I want to play. So I think there is options to go. If you can go up, tight end is your roster construction at like what you do at receivers. If you're playing Igbuka, McMillan, and kind of saving at the other one, you probably can spend up there. If you're like upgrading to like you want a Drake, London, Nico, and one of those two, you probably have to save. So yeah, DK is a little more fun this week than FanDuel, even though they're both soft. But what you do at tight end, it's a lot more open than every other position, in my opinion.
Yeah. We don't go deep into defense, but is there a standout defense this week, or just kind of going as cheap as possible?
Standout defense.
Our projections, if you sort by value, liking the Patriots, but here's the reason: something's messed up.
Nothing's last year we had we had Commanders at 22 or 2,300 against the backup quarterback. I can't remember who it is. Like we said, play them. That's right. No standout lock in my opinion like that. Yeah. It's so much variance. I mean, you just saw yesterday if Dak Prescott didn't make that tackle on the Miles Sanders, obviously the Eagles were expensive, but that's 6 points right there. Yeah. The Eagles like one random ass play, like a kick returner, has nothing to do with your defense, gets a touchdown, you get 6. So more times than not, I'm saving money. This week I'm probably saving money, but no, nothing. I have no clue who I'll be playing.
Yeah. Couple questions. I know you already kind of hit on this. If CMC sits as the backup, a cash lock.
I don't think so.
You said, probably.
I don't even. Definitely not a lock, and I don't even know. Like the backup's Brian Robinson. He should.
You need big scores at running back. You need big scores this week.
So let's see. Brian Robinson, his price tag is $5,800. I mean, Tony Pollard's cheaper than that. We have Kenneth Walker's 100 more. James Conner is 300 more. No, I don't even think I'd play Brian Thomas. Again, I'm worried. Like he's only been there for a month. How much is he? Like the Ricky Pearsall gets the biggest bump there. And we'll talk tournaments, Juwan Jennings, but by no means a lock. Probably wouldn't even play him.
Are you spending up at tight end in cash? It looks like on FanDuel, yes. DK, it's a little more of a question mark. I guess there's a secondary part. Even if all cheap wide receivers you start to have to choose between spend up quarterback, tight end, or all the running back.
That's what we're talking about. Like you just summarized the whole DraftKings thing for us. So FanDuel's clear because it's hardly even a spend up. DraftKings, that's gonna. Yeah, I mean that's the decision this week that I'll take my have all my core plays and stuff, but I don't even know what I'll be doing. That's the decision you'll be making.
I mean, some plays are super obvious, but it's like you still have decisions to make.
Still have to think.
Yeah, there's definitely still some thought that goes into it, and a lot of people will still mess it up and do something stupid. So that's where the edge lies in the large field, big 50-50s and double ups. People will still do some crazy shit that you look at their lineups and be like, what the hell is this? So that's the
and like 40% of the time they're still above you, beating you.
Yeah,
but as long as they keep running back, you'll get them over time.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, we'll be here every Friday, usually the same time, the two of us talking through the slate. Your core plays will go up on the website most likely tomorrow afternoon. If there are any changes, you will update that on the site. But, man, excited to have football back, excited to be doing these shows again. Any final thoughts before we get on? And remember, stay on because at 2 Eastern, we're going live to talk the Chiefs and Chargers game.
Yeah, no, I mean, super pumped. Anytime you pull up the NFL lobby, you see how much cash action there is, how much tournament action. There's very few better days in every single year, in my opinion, in my life over here than Sundays. There is better days. I'm not saying they're the best because family and stuff, but man, 17 weeks, 18 now, Sunday football, baby, nothing better. I just hope it's better next week in terms of more options, not as straightforward.
And better pricing.
Yes, exactly. I'm hoping for that. So we'll be back 17 minutes talking 500K up top today.
Yeah, let's get it. All right, good luck to your contest. Good luck in your contest this week. Let's get those logos up in those 50-50, at least above that halfway point, so you can double up your money in double ups and head to heads. So good luck this week. We'll be back next Friday with the week 2 cash game show.